de-escalate the tension. Yeah, when I was in Taiwan, they circled it with 10 battleships, aircraft carriers, 70 fighter jets. As you mentioned, that fighter jet came 10 feet away. That day in the Philippines, the Chinese Coast Guard banned into the Chinese Philippine vessel almost sunk it. So the message is get something out of this for God's sake. So that was me, and it's good to talk. We want lines of communication between our and theirs, which we don't have right now. I also argue that Mark Swift from Texas, he's been in China for 11 years as a hostage. He is a
There's a lot to discuss there. In the meantime, the people are now coming to the help from the White House $100 million for there are a number of before the state they don't want to with all of these Ted Cruz is with Senator He says we should roll out military assistance early and clear if it passes the bill. And is this smart very well?
Well, I was with the new speaker. I'm glad we had the situation in the White House with Jake Sullivan. Talking about Iran, which is causing the problems in Israel, and that is Russia and Ukraine and Europe, and the threat also of China to the Pacific, and also lastly, and most importantly for me and my constituents, the world itself. We aircraft carriers in the Mediterranean and Persian Gulf for deterrence to ensure that this does not escalate. But that's our biggest concern. $60 billion by evading our sanctions. That goes straight into funding of terrorist organizations like Hamas, like Hezbollah. In addition, the $6 billion from this hostage negotiation, I'm going to mark up a bill next week to sanction that money from ever going into Iran. This bill is to put $6 billion into the biggest state-sponsored terror.
Okay, there are a lot of other people doing it, and many of them, we know that they're enemies. I mean, Iran clearly wants to destroy America. But we also, I want to put up some video of a massive pro-Palestinian demonstration there yesterday. The estimates are there were hundreds of thousands of people in the street. Turkey's president stood there, everyone, and said that Israel is an occupier. He said they are committing war crimes. He said Hamas is not a terrorist organization. This is a NATO ally of ours. What do you say to Turkey at this moment?
A precarious NATO ally that Sweden has been with us for a while. Hopefully we'll I would tell them to stop this. This is part of the Ottoman Empire, go way back to Turkish roots. I think Erdogan and Jordan stuff is the Ottoman Empire ruler, if you will. He's supporting Hamas and as a NATO ally. Because he also visited him at the Kremlin. And and Iran all together in this. They're all allies against the West and the United States.
So China this week, they had encroachment on one of our planes over the South China Sea that was within 10 feet of one of our planes. At the same time, their foreign minister here negotiated apparently in the meeting between Presidents Xi and Biden in the next month or two. What is your message to the White House on this week?
De-escalate the tension. You know, when they were in Taiwan, they circled it. Battleship, aircraft carrier, 75 jets, B-52. Fighter jet came 10 feet
Tomorrow you have to wake up. Today you can sleep.
Chinese, Philippines.
No, dog. Not good.
It's good to talk.
Tomorrow you have to go to school, so sleep today.
Between our military and I would also argue that Mark Swine from Texas, he's been in China for 11 years as a hostage. He is very sick. He's a prisoner now on death row for bogus price charge.
There's lots of us there. In the meantime, there's a supplemental bill now coming to the Hill, the White House, more than $100 billion for a number of things. There are a number of Republicans who are now stepping forward to say they don't want Israel thrown in with all of these other things, Ukraine and all the other stuff. Ted Cruz is leading the effort over with Senator Roger Marshall in the Senate. He says we should vote on Israel military assistance free and clear. It would pass overwhelmingly. And every other thing attached to it is the swamp, and it's very worse. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he thinks
Sleep,
most
Nandini, go.
of the House GOP
Go, sleep.
voted out. What happens?
Well,
Nandini, you have to sleep a lot today because tomorrow morning you have to get up at 6:40. Sleep.
Talking about this very issue.
Go back to
I
sleep.
think what we would do is really, because the need is so urgent now in Israel, is to start with Israel first, and then deal with the other
As a separate measure.
as a separate measure. We'll have that on the House floor this week. But we can't forget about the other adversaries linked to Iran, which is causing the problems in Israel, and that is Russia and Ukraine and Europe, and the threat also of China to the Pacific, and also lastly, Shannon, most importantly for me and Mike, it's the border itself. We have to get this thing under control because it's way out of control.
Yeah, DHS is warning that terrorists and criminals and others will try to capitalize on what's happening in the world right now because of just how porous our border is. I mean, we talked before the show started about the record number of people attached to the terror watch list that are showing up at our border, and those are just the ones we know about.
You know, when I chaired Homeland Security, I always look at those numbers. How many on the terror watch list? How many special interest agents? We've had 200. It only took 19 hijackers, right? We need to stop the magnet, which is political asylum, go back to the policies that worked, which was remain in Mexico, migrant protection protocols. I brought this up to the White House. It wouldn't cost a whole lot of money. It's just a change in policy where their claims are adjudicated outside the United States, not inside. Because once they're inside the United States, like 7 million have been, they were released.
Turin, always good to see you. Thank you.
Thank
You've
you.
got lots to do on Hill.
Absolutely.
And that includes this. Deciding where to go next, because now you've got Mike Johnson elected as House Speaker. It came as a surprise to many. His views are considered to the right of many other lawmakers who will consider. The new Speaker will face the tough task of negotiating with Democrats to reach a deal before government.
It's a game called Bounce Merge. The objective is very simple. Just break the blocks down. In the beginning, it's like this.
All right, good to see you guys this morning. Let's start here. The New York Times assessment of the new Speaker as
Breaking them down and you'll get plays like this.
Have the right to nullify election results so that they can impose their vision of government and society on an unwilling public. Wow, what a balanced perspective from the New York Times there. The leader of the Democrats is, of course, Hakeem Jeffries, who denied the integrity of the 2016 election, falsely claiming that Trump was a traitor who had colluded with Russia to steal that. So we have issues in the Democrat Party where very few people have accepted elections, really going back for many elections. But it's interesting, this fourth candidate for House Speaker was unanimously supported by his conference. And that doesn't mean that everybody shares his viewpoints, but it does mean that they view him as someone who's very good to work with, and that they're very important issues. Democrats control the presidency, Democrats control the Senate, Democrats also control a lot of institutions, like most of our media and college environments. And so this is just one area where that other half of the country can fight back on some of what's been happening with the Democrat agenda. So to the point of everything that needs to get done, the Washington Post has this piece saying the government's barely 3 weeks away from shutting down for lack of funding. We need money for Ukraine forces against Russian invaders, for Israel, a having a tenuous grip on a GOP majority that remains as dysfunctional as it was at the outset of this debacle. So, Richard, I mean, they did enough to get a speaker there, but he's still going to be, it's the hurting the cats.
Well, I think that's the problem, right? Bravo for the Republican caucus for finally getting a speaker after a number of weeks. But what the chairman laid out just a couple minutes ago was quite a hefty agenda to try to get done in the world in which the makeup of the GOP caucus has not changed. Neither has the motion to vacate. So the moment in which somebody does not like what this speaker has done, one member of this caucus could say, I don't like it anymore, and we could be back to where we started. Not to mention the fact that you have to get a border bill through, you have to get Israel funding through, you have to get Ukraine funding through, on top of the fact that you still have to keep the government open. This remains a really big problem for this new speaker. Not to mention, on top of everything else, this is somebody who's new to the job. He's never actually been a chairman of a caucus. He doesn't have any fundraising experience. So what caucus members depend on the speaker to do is to raise money and to help them maintain their majority. This speaker has problems with all of that.
Well, and it comes at the time that Gallup is now telling us their latest numbers that Congress has fallen through 13% approval rating. Confidence in their ability to get any of these things done that we've talked about.
Well, I think for the Republicans, the challenge will be less about, people in D.C., they talk about fundraising. I think a lot of Americans are looking for leadership, and with leadership, they will give political support. They look at what's happening in D.C. They look at what the Biden administration has done, intentionally rejecting everything from previous administration Donald Trump's border policy to his foreign policy. And they see a country that is completely in chaos at our southern border, and with crime in our cities, and with the inflation out of control. And they also see a world on fire. And so I think Republicans, if they want to get support from American people, will focus on leadership and pushing back against some of this and a corrupt Biden administration with the weaponization of the Department of Justice.
Well, and Gallup also has the president saying this, that his job approval rating among Democrats has tumbled 11 percentage points in the past month to 75%. That's the worst rating of his presidency from his own party. And the Republicans have pushed his overall approval rating to 37%, which matches his personal vote, which is not
We're also seeing consumer spending increase. What the president has to hope for in this moment is that these numbers continue to trend in the right direction by the time he has to tell the American people to please go vote for me. And he has to also hope that the Republican caucus in the House stays in disarray and dysfunction.
I gotta run.
Well, polling shows that the American people don't
Morning.
they do give it by a pretty wide margin to Republicans when it comes to handling issues of the economy. So clearly that's going to be front and center on the campaign trail. Thank you both. Good to see you. All right, up next, a special in-depth look at crime across America. We've got reporters everywhere, all across the country, to show you just how bad things have gotten, to investigate the challenges our law enforcement officers are facing, and the backlash against progressive prosecutors. Next.
There's challenges, and I love overcoming challenges.
What Better Money Habits content for started coming out, it expanded for Special Olympics athletes with developmental needs.
Thousands of Bank of America employees like Scott spend countless hours volunteering to teach people how to reach their financial goals.
Felt good. I felt like I could take over the whole world.
What would you like the power to do?
This is spring semester. There are 13,000 U.S. school districts which have become top targets of ransomware attacks. But there's never been a reported ransomware attack on a Chromebook, which is why thousands of schools, like the Fairfax School District, switched to Google Tools for education. So we can focus on teaching, and 22,000 students can focus on learning, knowing that their data is secure.
It takes special dedication to care for our elderly, especially when they need it most.
At Visiting Angels, we help seniors remain independent and safe in their own home.
give families that special peace of mind, knowing that their loved ones have the best care possible.
America's seniors need our helping hand. So if you care about caring, come on and join our team.
Family is the most important. But sometimes a lack of energy can get in the way. Your body needs fuel, especially as you get older. But there's no better fuel for your body than whole
All the
fruits
ads
and
should be
veggies.
banned in many
Johnson Acres
countries.
Fruits and Veggies Supplements provides the nutrition that your body needs.
I wish the ads would
helping you embrace
suffer.
what matters most.
I don't
Get
want any
35%
ads
off and free shipping
anymore.
as a preferred
Then how
customer
are
by
you
using
gonna
discount
download
code Fox
anything?
News.
That doesn't look like I care.
On Tubi, the musicals where dancers do things you didn't think the human body was even capable of. Just keep going.
Taken off in many countries.
Now to our special in-depth look at crime in America. Here in the nation's capital, district residents are facing the highest homicide rate in 20 years. More than 225 so far this year, up 34% from the same time last year. But dominating the nation's headlines this week, the shock of another mass shooting, this time by a lone gunman in Lewiston, Maine on Wednesday. 18 people killed, ranging in age from 14 to 76, leaving behind a devastated community. After a two-day manhunt, the shooter was found dead of a self-inflicted gunshot Friday night. Behind me here, the Capitol, where flags are flying at half-staff and at federal buildings across the country until sunset tomorrow in memory of those lost. Maine has been one of the few states in America with a low number of homicides, 29 in the entire state in 2022. Compare that with New York City, where there have been more than 315 murders since the beginning of this year. Meanwhile, 3 years into the 2020 progressive bail reform passed by New York State, a backlash is building from critics and victims of crimes. C.B. Cotton spoke to one family who said they've paid the ultimate price.
Jackie Bellini and her family were enjoying a night in at her Manhattan apartment when a suspect, Lanu Moore, tried to force his way into her home. Police sources say Moore was often aggressive towards Jackie because of her barking dogs. Her daughter vividly remembers the night he tried to get into her mom's apartment.
My mom came out with a broken arm, and my boyfriend came out with blood coming out of his head.
She and other loved ones speaking out, but hiding their identity. From then on, Jackie's brother says he knew the worst could happen.
I knew it in my heart. Something was going to happen. I knew it. Because New York, there's no justice for nobody.
On September 29th, Jackie was out walking her dog with a friend when all three were shot and killed. Gunned down by Lanu Moore, according to police.
The system failed us.
New York's system, which saw sweeping bail reform in 2020, eliminating cash bail and pretrial detention for most misdemeanors and non-violent felony cases. The state's progressive lawmakers arguing no one should be behind bars while awaiting trial just because they can't pay bail. After the home break-in in April, Jackie had faith the criminal justice system will protect her. Moore was arrested in the rain on assault and burglary charges. A judge setting bail at $5,000 cash.
He paid 10% of 500. And that's crazy.
The judge failed.
They gave him an opportunity to finish his job.
There have been 3 amendments to the state's bail law since 2020. The most recent change came this year from New York Governor Kathy Hochul after striking a deal to give judges more leeway when setting bail to get a defendant to return to court. But how dangerous someone may be to the community is not up for consideration.
This is crazy. Nobody's safe.
Several of the state's progressive lawmakers who've advocated for bail reform did not respond to our request for comment. Jackie's family knows how they feel.
The judge could have saved their life. They need to change it.
Also, the author of The Royal Prosecutor,
sourced, bought, and paid for. All of their policies are pro-criminal and anti-victim. Crime has exploded in the cities with these sourced, bought, and paid for road crossers. This is a fact.
And what you're referring to there is campaign donations or other groups that you say are connected that led us to where we are with some of these people being elected. Okay, so you've been on all sides of this.
Yes.
Let me ask you about here in DC. There's some frustration. Arrested, and they quote retired federal this. I would get anyone that would see defendants on homicide cases in front of me who had previous gun possession charges that they prosecuted on previous challenging, yes, it's your job. And your job is to just dismiss it because the evidence is not everything you want it to be or think it should be.
You know, it's without a doubt, crime here in the District of Columbia throughout the country is up. And it is because of progressive...
Girl, I love your Halloween decor. I've been wanting to order some, but it's so expensive. Oh, I got these spiders with a gift card I earned on Misplay. You're telling me you got that with gift...
Don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
Than we are about the rights of law-abiding citizens. So something has to be done. But when you look at the District of Columbia, when you look at the fact that you cannot even drive your car without being worried about being carjacked, when you look at the homicides that have taken place here, and all we have to do is to call the television on and look at this chaotic and drag, and wonder what is allowed doing to protect law-abiding citizens. We are at a crossroads where we're gonna have to do something, Shannon, within the criminal justice system.
Coming.
They're actually helpful. You know, the first aid program and others that they have a much lower rate of
Mommy, today's gonna thunderstorm. Please. Mommy, come look at this. Mommy, come look at this. I have 923 calories. Mine's is like 500.